The search continues for hundreds of missing people in Western Europe after record rainfall caused devastating flooding. More than 170 people have been killed across Germany and Belgium. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has been visiting the affected areas. Well, let's cross live to my colleague Kasia Madeira, who's in the German town of Sinzig. Kasia, what is the situation there where you are?
Well, Ben, we've managed to get into the heart of this small town, and as you can see, the devastation, well, the images just speak for themselves. This is a recovery operation that is underway, but there is just a palpable sense of shock as to the amount of devastation. This is a small town and it's not actually that close to the river, and yet it felt the full force. This town was underwater, and right now, well, so much devastation, so much destruction, people's possessions, footballs, their whole lives are now out on the street as they try and recover what they can. But we've been keep hearing that this is like a war zone, and this is one of many, many towns along what is a picturesque and idyllic part of West Germany, absolutely beautiful, that felt the full shock, the full brunt of the floods. Behind me you can see just how high, 2 meters, the flood waters were when they were at their worst. A staggering situation. And now, well, the recovery operation is underway, and around 20,000 people have been mobilized to help, to support in this. It will take such a long time, and this is a scene that has been repeated across this part of Western Germany, as Jenny Hill now reports.
In Ahrweiler, everything, everyone is covered in thick, sticky mud. There's no power, nowhere to buy food, not much mobile reception. But they're doing what they can. Willi told us they've never seen anything like it here, not even in his parents', grandparents' time. The water rose 2 meters in 15 or 20 minutes, he told us. People tried to save their things, went into their basements, and unfortunately got trapped. I was lucky, he said. I could get out the back of my basement. Around 100 people have died in this district alone. Many more are still missing. There was so little time to run, people tell us. Look at the force of this flood and the damage it left behind. The water's receding, but the number of dead is expected to continue to rise. Search and rescue, it's feared, will soon be a recovery operation. So many people just want to help. Donations piling up, overwhelming the volunteers at this makeshift warehouse.
I can't imagine what it must be like to be affected. That's why I'm here, to help people.
In Ahrweiler, across the region, lives turned upside down. This is Amelie. The water, she told us, came from the playground to our house, but luckily just the ground floor. My gran and granddad were affected though. They're staying with us now. As the waters slowly subside, they reveal the extent of the damage done. The task of rebuilding this region seems overwhelming. So much of its vital infrastructure, bridges, roads, railways, is completely gone. Hard to imagine the time, the money it'll take to get this region back on its feet. Jenny Hill, BBC News, Ahrweiler.
And it really is hard to imagine how this region is going to recover when you look at the scale of the devastation, and people just are trying to get their heads around what they're seeing. It has been, as Angela Merkel has described, a catastrophe for the people here. And when you drive past through these small towns, washing machines, trampolines, children's stuff just piled onto the floor, covered in this sludge that is being excavated, is being dredged from people's homes. It's really just, well, it's overwhelming, quite frankly. Now, Angela Merkel has been visiting one of the badly affected areas. It's a place called Nuremberg. Damien McGuinness joins us live now. Damien, over to you.
Yeah, that's right, Kasia. So Angela Merkel is right now a few kilometres away from this rescue centre here. She's been talking to local people, survivors of the floods. This is more than a political meet and greet situation for her. What she's doing, she's talking to people, she's finding out what they need. because this is still a developing situation on the ground. She's been thanking rescue workers who've been working for days now, round the clock. Behind me, you can see some of the volunteers, really. There are thousands in this region alone who have jumped in to help. What they're doing right now is in this place, which is usually a sports stadium, it's been converted into a donation centre, and local people have been bringing bedding, food, water, everything people need, survivors of the floods need, to keep going. And right now, everyone is sorting through everything, they're boxing everything. We have 3 halls the size of this just in this location alone. It just, goes to show, Kasia, the amount of solidarity in the community in this region right now, because everyone feels affected by this. Later on, Angela Merkel will also give a statement. She will speak at another town very near here, which was also badly affected. And she's going to really be talking about the help that the government and the state now has to give, because that's going to be the next step. On the one hand, we have the catastrophic death toll, which just keeps on rising, way over 150 in Germany alone. Unfortunately, that could rise still further. But on the other hand, we have the survivors who, as you were saying earlier, have lost everything. So everything needs to be rebuilt. This is going to take a long time. This is just the beginning of the rebuilding operation, really.
Damien, it's going to be such a huge operation. Thank you so much, Angela Merkel. They're speaking near to the vicinity, that rescue centre where people are helping, doing everything that they can to help there's so many that have lost so much. And when you look just around, this is one small town across Western Germany where these scenes are just simply repeated time and time again. And it's made really complicated here because the network services are intermittent. It is, it's touch and go if you get a signal, and that kind of hampers as well this whole huge operation of galvanizing people to come and roll up their sleeves and help. Also, the roads around here, you've got to understand, these are small towns. The roads are blocked with emergency services trying to get their way through, with people trying to help. Cars have been abandoned way up, people walking with buckets, with cloths, with anything that they can get their hands on, just simply to help the people that have just lost so much. And like I say, this is one town in 2 states that has been really destroyed. So this will take a long time, and a sense of shock still. And like I say, we speak to police officers and they're saying, don't go down there. It is a war zone, is how they're describing it. And given that all of this was underwater just a few days ago, you really get a sense of the speed, the ferociousness with which these floods came into this region, and the suddenness as well. So we'll be giving you special coverage throughout the rest of the day, Ben, from here in Western Germany. We'll be speaking to people who have been so badly affected, and of course remembering all those people who lost their lives here.
OK, for the moment, Kasia, thank you very much. Kasia Madeira there for us.